Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming to our annual Diwali gathering. It's always wonderful to see so many members of our community together in the same room. We're especially glad to see all the new faces, new members, and the second generation jewelers that have joined our industry over the past couple of years. Before we begin our program, I'd like to acknowledge the IDCA board that's present here today. First, our executive committee, Mr. Rajiv Pandya, President, Mr. Sailesh Jalani, Vice President, Diwali Gandhi, Secretary, Kusana if you'd like, Aniket Parekh, Joint Secretary, Sailesh Laki, Treasurer, and our directors, Manoj Bhandari, Navneet Chordia, he's not here today, Vineet Chobanputra, Nimish Mehta, Kailash Rawat, Vibhor Saraf, that's me, Anshul Shah, and Vipul Shah. At this time, I'd like to invite our president, Mr. Rajiv Pandya, to come over here and speak a few words.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vibhor. Dear IDCA members, on behalf of myself and the IDCA board, thank you for joining us at our annual Diwali lunch. I would like to welcome and thank the Honorable Mr. Randesh Jaiswal, Consul General of India, New York, and the Deputy Consul General, Dr. Varun Jia, for accepting our invitation and joining us today. I would also thank Mr. Quick Brune, the Senior Vice President and Head of Jewelry at Sotheby's, for accepting our invitation to speak to our members on the state of the jewelry industry. We hope all of you had a chance to attend IDCA's 38th Las Vegas Gala. A very special thanks to all our members and sponsors for supporting IDCA and our Indian diamond, color stone, and jewelry community. Thank you. We received many positive and some constructive reviews of the Las Vegas Gala. Many of the reviews we received were discussed in detail in our board meetings, and decisions that were made, the most logical sense, were taken at that time. In addition, for the Las Vegas Gala planning and sponsorship, we have created a transparent workflow process on Google Drive that will enable future IDCA president and board members to have a knowledge base on executing future Las Vegas events as well as seminars. I would also like to give a quick follow-up on our activities outlined at our 2022 annual general body meeting. With the youngest board in IDCA's history, one of the main objectives of 2022 IDCA board was to give additional responsibilities and executive capabilities to the board members. An organization cannot grow and prosper without the leadership and active participation of its board. I will briefly go over the major IDCA committees that were formed and their chairs. Our membership committee, under co-chairs Mr. Manoj Bhandari and Mr. Vipul Shah, have done an outstanding job recruiting 40+ members this year. And they're not done. We still have 2.5 months left for the year, and they're very close to achieving our target of 250 members. Thank you. Thank you. The Membership Benefits Committee co-chairs, Mr. Sailesh Jalani and Mr. Sailesh Laki, have worked out a deal with the attorney, Mr. David Shuffman, where he will not charge IDCA members the initial consultation fee and will provide his services at a reasonable cost. In addition, they will be speaking to insurance companies, freight companies, and other service providers on reduced group rates for IDCA members. Vineet Chobanputra and Rutali Gandhi co-chair the Next Gen Committee. The IDCA board will provide all appropriate and necessary funding for a successful Next Gen event. I have requested the NextGen team to work with GIA, AGS, WGA, and other industry organizations to coordinate 2 joint events in the fall. One successful event was already held in August, and another is planned before the end of the year. Vibhor Saraf and Aniket Parekh co-chair the seminar committee. They are working on the next seminar, which will be on digital transformation and e-commerce at the Rockefeller Center at the 3 West Club on November 30th, 2022. They will have leading experts speak about the transformative digital landscape and how it's affecting our industry. Please encourage the young in your companies and the next generation to attend this informative event. To keep our website updated, we have appointed Aniket Parekh and Vibhor Saraf as co-chairs of the website committee. We are ready for the soft launch of the new IDCA website, and they will be responsible for keeping our website up to date with the most recent information and news regarding IDCA. To increase our brand awareness, we have appointed Vineet Jobanputra and Anshan Shah as our co-chairs of the social media committee. They will post related content on our social media platforms. Please help them by liking or joining IDCA's Facebook and LinkedIn pages. To increase our reach and interaction with buying groups and retailers, we have appointed Salesh Jalani and Navneet Chordia as co-chairs of our Retail Buying Group Committee. It is critical that we work with CBG, IGO, RGO, AGS, and leading jewelers to connect our members with thousands of independent retailers across the United States. To keep transparency and accountability in our organization, IDCA will be sending our members an email with the progress of the above committees and what they have accomplished before the end of the year. We want to make sure that we live up to the expectation and the promises we have made to our members. IDEA's first ever and historical jewelry industry symposium, co-hosted by the Indian Council of New York with leading government industry persons, is coming up in November 19th. This is the first time ever IDCA has an event that will involve the Indian government as well as our industry in a joint session. I hope this is something that we can further make progress on, because our jewelry industry is very dependent on the laws that are made not only in India but also the United States. So I think it's time for us to start making an impact in that regard. Another NextGen event, as I said, is being planned before the end of the year, and the Digital Transformation and E-Commerce Forum at the Rockefeller Center is scheduled for November 30, 2022. Planning for the 2023 Tucson Gala will soon start. As stated, our IDCA committees will continue to execute on their assigned tasks. Thank you to the IDCA board for all their hard work in building a stronger foundation for a stronger IDCA. I would like to thank our Executive Director, Ashrafi. She is the heart and soul of IDCA, and having a depth of knowledge of our industry and serving our membership for over 18 years. Thank you for Utsav for hosting our annual Diwali lunch at this beautiful restaurant. Most of all, I would like to thank all our IDCA members and sponsors for their support over the last 9 months, and we look forward to making IDCA stronger together. On behalf of the IDCA board, a very happy Diwali and thank you.
So as Rajiv mentioned, we're really happy to announce that we've had quite a few new members in the past year. Board members, Mr. Manoj Bhandari and Mr. Rupal Shah, who head the membership committee, will now welcome the new members.
First of all, very happy Diwali to everyone. We are pleased to inform that we have added following new IDCA member, and so far we have a total added 48 members this year. So we would like to welcome them all as a new member, and if they are here, just raise your hand. ASK Gems, Aster Jewels, Arise Precious, BR Gems, BB Gems, Bright Gems, Brown Gems, Cosmos Gems, Created Diamond, Delta Gems, DGL Trading, Bank Solitaire, DMM Trading, Drysasur, DV Jewelry, Eco Ground, Emerge Diamond, FC Creation, Five Rivers, IT, GD Color, Green Rock, Jaya Diamond, KD Gems, MB Jewels, Maitri Diamond, NRI Gems, Om USA, Perry International, PNR Gems, Precious Plus, Prisma, Purity Jewelry, Royce Dam, SDS Dam, Sparkle Gems, Stella Dam, Treasure Jewelry, VAD LLC, Veer Gems, Viva Gems, SM Gold, Gems Shop USA, SRM Diamond, Honda, Spaco. These are the new members, and we're trying our best for the country. Thank you, and I hope to have some more members through the members. Thank you.
We're very fortunate to have with us here today the Honorable Consul General Shri Randirji Jaiswal. Mr. Jaiswal has been a diplomat for over 2 decades, having served in Portugal, Cuba, South Africa, and now at the Permanent Mission of India in New York. In between his overseas assignments, he served at the Ministry of External Affairs as Deputy Secretary and then as Joint Secretary, where he managed India's relations with Western Europe and the US. In 2017, he was also Deputy Joint Secretary to manage the international relations portfolio of the President of India. Mr. Jaiswal speaks Hindi, English, Portuguese, Spanish, and he served as the Consul General of India in New York since July 2020. I will now request the Honorable Consul General to say a few words.
Namaste and good afternoon, dear friends. President of IDCA, Mr. Rajiv Pandya, a very distinguished friend from Sotheby's, board members of IDCA, and all our distinguished members of the IDCA family. Happy Diwali to all of you. It is always a pleasure, a very deep pleasure to be back in the IDCA family fold. IDCA lies or works at the intersection of several connections between the United States and India. The most obvious one is the economic intersection, where gems and jewelry happens to be an important component of our trade with the United States, of our economic engagement with the United States. So thank you for all your support in boosting India's exports, in making India-US connect in this sector, make waves across the globe. I have another observation to make. I have been here for 2 years. I know the Indian American community from north to south, east to west, the whole spectrum of it. Let me tell you and let me congratulate you that I have yet to see a component of or a segment of Indian American society which maintains its culture and heritage as closely as you do. So many congratulations to you. There are several other reasons why you need to be congratulated, but obviously today, just before we had several members, new members whose names were called, so congratulations, you're doing very well. I hope next year when we meet for Diwali gala gathering here or somewhere else, we'll have many more women members also joining and many more women members as part of the board. This year I see that the board itself looks younger. It speaks well of new energy, new enthusiasm coming into the IDCA platform, IDCA fold, and with that, new ideas will propel us further. Just to give you a snapshot on the India side, The Indian economy is booming. We are the largest growing major economy in the world. We should be finishing with 7% plus or 7% thereabout this year. Hopefully, if the global headwinds are not too strong, we can repeat our feat the following year as well. The startup ecosystem in India is making news across the world. A lot is happening in the digital space. India's digital payments programs is making new records on a daily basis. We today account for 40% of global payments made digitally on a real-time basis. India's fintech platform, UPI, is now being talked about not just by the World Bank and IMF or by financial centers across the world, but each and every nook and corner of the world. So a lot of positivity and a lot of excitement in India. And I must say, because Diwali is a festival of prosperity, there for that reason, I thought it would be worthwhile for me to tell you all the good stories coming out of India. And not just that, I talked specifically of women. Even in the sphere of women, today Indian women are ruling the sky. 12.5% of our pilots are women, the highest in the world. The next best is 5%, the third best is 4%. So you can imagine the kind of changes that India is going through. A lot more will happen in the days to come. This year is special for us because we are celebrating 75 years of India's independence. The next 25 years, when we celebrate 100 years in 2047, the next 25 years, the Prime Minister has called it to be Amrit Kal, and we seek all your support to meet our aspiration to be a developed country. So with that, I wish all of you happy Diwali, and we look forward to partnering with you IDCA event on 19th of November. Thank you very much. Happy Diwali to all of you.
Thank you, Council General, for those very inspirational and positive words. And we also thank Deputy Council Dr. Varun Jeff for joining us at the celebration. One more round of applause, please. Now I'll ask Shailesh Jalani to come and introduce the next speaker.
Hello everyone, happy Diwali. I'd like to introduce incredible gentleman sitting, honoring us, Mr. Quick Bruning is Senior Vice President and Head of Jewelry Department for the Americans at Americas Sotheby's. He is responsible for day-to-day operation of the department as well as appraisals and client development for jewelry sales globally. He has been widely interviewed and featured across various media platforms including Forbes magazine, Rappaport magazine, and the New York Times, and several national television programs. He has lectured at numerous events around the world and frequently leads charity auctions for various organizations. Mr. Bruning has truly international perspective, having worked in Paris, London, Los Angeles, Hong Kong prior to New York, and speaks many different languages, French, Spanish, Italian. In addition to his duties in jewelry department, Mr. Bruning is a seasoned auctioneer and has conducted sales in London, Geneva, and New York. And not to mention that they just sold a diamond vivid pink for a spectacular per carat price, $5 million a carat. Wow. I will now request Rajiv Pandya and Ashokji Sacheti to have honor the plaque to Mr. Bruning.
IDCA, Brilliantly Colorful, Indian Diamond and Colorstone Association, presents this token of appreciation to Mr. Quick Bruning, Senior Vice President, Head of Department Jewelry at Sotheby's, for your dedication and support to the jewelry industry, October 18, 2022, presented by IDCA.
Wow, you know, when this first started, Ashok and Shailesh said, you know, we'd like to invite you to a Diwali lunch. I thought, great, you know, the two of them, we'd have a nice time. And then they said, we'll have a couple of friends there. And I said, okay, no problem. And they said, you're gonna have to speak. And I thought, oh, okay. And now I get a plaque. This is like far exceeds my expectation. So first of all, I'd just like to say thank you very much. It's a real honor for me to be here in front of such an august group. So thank you all. This is it's a moment that I will remember. The second thing I want to say is that they asked me to speak for a little bit about the jewelry industry. And as we were talking before I came up, I said I kind of feel like a patient who just got a root canal and then is asked to speak to a bunch of dentists about the dental industry. I'm really not sure what I can tell you all that you don't know. I've been in this business for 13 years, and many of you have been in it for, with your family, hundreds and hundreds of years. So I always kind of feel like I don't really know what I'm doing, but I will try to at least entertain you a little bit as we talk about jewelry. The one thing I do want to say, and particularly about the Indian community and the jewelry industry, is how unbelievably welcoming and generous all of you are. And there's two examples of that, and both of them happened in the 10 minutes that I came in before we sat down. The first one is that as soon as I walked in, I probably had 15 people come up to me and say, "Can I get you anything? Can I get you anything?" I cannot tell you how nice that is to hear anywhere in New York. I mean, usually people are kicking you to get you out of the way, but with all of you, it's just, you're so unbelievably thoughtful and conscientious. And the second thing is that, it's a pleasure for me and an honor to have many of you in this room as friends, to work with many of you. I don't know most of you, but I hope that we can over the course of the afternoon. But whenever I see the people whom I know, the first question that they ask me, and this is every time, how's your family? How are your kids? And there is something about that just swells me with a lot of happiness. So I just want to say thank you, all of you, for how unbelievably nice you are to me and to our members. With that said, I was asked to talk about the jewelry industry and not how great the Indian jewelry community is. So I thought it might be helpful for you all to have just a sense of what we're seeing. I realize that the auction houses, we are a tiny, tiny, tiny sliver of the market. That we represent such a small part of what's actually going on. But I know it's very public, and as Sailesh said, we just sold about 2 weeks ago in Hong Kong an 11-carat vivid pink diamond for $57 million. It was an extraordinary price. $5 million a carat is by 25% more than the previous record per carat price. So what does that mean? Really, for us in the auction industry, the top part of it is the best of the best of the best. The extraordinary things are going to make extraordinary prices. That pink diamond is a wonderful example. We sold a 15-carat vivid blue diamond in Hong Kong going back to April for, again, $57 million. So I would, really what we're seeing is if you have something that is truly rare, not just kind of rare, truly rare, extraordinarily rare, that's where the real focus of the market is today. But it's not just about the rarity of these things. Stories matter. And what I think is particularly poignant about these two diamonds is that we knew exactly where they came from, we knew exactly what the rough looked like, and we knew exactly the entire process from the rough to the finished product. And we're seeing that over and over and over again. People care about sustainability. They care about mining. They care about where do things come from. Not just in terms of the origin, but that's important, but also their history. Another great example, and as much as it pains me viscerally sometimes to talk about my competition at Rock Center, the Red Cross diamond that Christie sold in Geneva. This is a large yellow diamond, and it made an enormous price. Why? Because it had history. So I would really encourage you, as you're out there in the business, as you're out there looking for interesting opportunities, pay attention to these stories. Pay attention to their history, because the clients and the consumers, they care. And that makes a significant difference in the terms of the value and what people are willing to pay for. The other thing is that we're seeing, and those three diamonds are great examples, is that color is king. White diamonds, as much as that is the bedrock of our industry, at the auction level, that's not exactly where we're seeing a lot of movement right now. Pink diamonds, blue diamonds, yellow diamonds, yes, but also rubies, sapphires, and emeralds. This is what consumers want today. They want things that have that sort of inexorable feel to them, that extrinsic quality that you don't necessarily always get from a D to Z colored diamond. And it's not just rubies, emeralds, and sapphires. We're also seeing enormous increases in what we very pejoratively, but I don't mean it pejoratively, call the other stones. Parietal tourmalines, alexandrites. These stones are rare and people are finally appreciating them. And what that means is that we've got a consumer base that's getting more and more and more educated. On top of that, we're seeing signed jewelry being the absolute single #1 top part of the market. And when you start to think about that, you kind of wonder, well, that sort of makes sense. You know, the retailers are all up and down Fifth Avenue, they're all up and down Madison, they're on Bond Street. They're spending a ton of money on marketing. It makes sense for them to have a real important role in the secondary market. And then you walk into those stores and you see the prices that they charge and it kind of makes you gulp a little bit. But one of the reasons that that's happened is because we've seen this increased rise in people who are buying digitally. A lot more self-service customers. And this is something that I would challenge everyone in this room to really look at, is understanding just how important that digital component is. What we've seen at Sotheby's has been an increase by about 30% of new registrants for bidders. This is not just year over year, this is sale after sale after sale. These buyers are getting younger, and these buyers are getting more geographically diverse. In our sale, we had a small sale in September. We had 80 different countries where people were from who were bidding in that auction. 80 countries in one sale. And the only reason for that is because of the digital outreach that we've done. And that is something that you can only reach so many people by shaking hands in New York. You can only reach so many people with print advertisement or with print catalogs. But the more and the more and the more they are able to do digitally, that's really going to make a huge difference. And Rajiv was talking about Instagram. He was talking about LinkedIn. Our Instagram channels, we have about 1.2 million followers across our various channels. We sell things every single day off of these platforms. And these aren't little, small things. We sell multi-million-dollar pieces off of Instagram every single day. Now, with that said, I think it's clear that we are beginning to see some headwinds. We've had an amazing run the past couple of years. And so I was starting to think about, from an auction house's perspective, and from your perspective as you are all so ingrained in the industry, how can we work together? How can we help each other? Because at the end of the day, we are all in this business together. And I want to let you all in on a dirty little secret. I really hope that Rahul is not here. But I celebrate it when Christie's has a good sale. It's true. And I would hope and I expect that they feel the same way about our auctions as well. I want to do better than they do, but it is good for the market, the more good things that are out there. So how can we actually make this happen? And I hope that my being here will encourage all of you who don't know me and who don't work with the auctions, please come visit us. Let's talk. Let's have a dialogue. What you guys are doing, and hearing Rajiv talk about it, how much younger you're getting, how much more digitally savvy you're getting, 48 new members in 1 year. This is exactly what needs to be happening. Please, I would encourage you all, let me know how I can help or how we can help. But the one thing that I would like your help with is, and this is I think the biggest thing, is how do we educate more and more buyers to what we do? I talk to my friends, and whenever I talk to them about diamonds, they always say, if you're in the synthetic diamond business, I'm not saying anything negative about it, but they always ask, well, are these all man-made diamonds? That's the only thing they ask me. And so how do we educate consumers about the importance of what we're doing, about why this is important, why this is rare, why this is unique? What everyone in this room does, you all are artists in the realist form. And one of the frustrations that I have is, why is jewelry not commanding the kind of prices that you see for contemporary art? If you pay $100 million for a painting, that's totally fine, but pay $1 million for a diamond, well, that's a bit gauche. No, it's not. It's art. And I think that it's incumbent upon all of us to make sure that we're getting that message out there to as many people as possible. So if there is a way that Sotheby's can help any of you accomplish that, please let me know. And we try, this is a big goal of ours, is to make this part of not just the jewelry business, but we want to be part of the larger art world, the part of the larger luxury world, and really present ourselves as purveyors of the rare and the important. So with that, I really don't know if I can say much more. Again, it's always a little weird for me to be in this situation where I'm trying to tell people who know a lot more business than I do about their business, but it's been a real pleasure, a real honor. I don't have a whole lot of plaques, so this will be great up on my wall. But it's an honor for me to be here. I wish you all a happy Diwali, and I hope that we can continue this conversation.
Thank you again, everyone, for joining the celebration. Thank you to Counsel General Mr. Jeswal, Deputy Counsel General Mr. Jeff for gracing this occasion, and to Mr. Bruning for sharing his knowledge with our community. With that said, thanks for coming again, and happy Diwali. Lunch is served.